It's not about orientation. It is about the situation in contrast or in line with the church's teachings.
Now at 7, the head of the Indianapolis Archdiocese defending the doctrine that compelled a Catholic school to fire a teacher in a same-sex marriage. And just hours later, dozens gather in prayer and protest near the church's headquarters. Tonight, their call for a change in policy. Good evening, I'm Rafael Sanchez, and welcome to the news at 7. The leader of the Indianapolis Archdiocese says the church is not involved in a witch hunt. This after the same-sex marriages of several employees puts them at odds with the Catholic Church and their jobs. The national spotlight on some of the most prominent Catholic high schools in Indianapolis took a new turn as Archbishop Charles Thompson addressed the controversy involving teachers in same-sex marriages.
This is not a witch hunt. We don't go looking for these situations. When they're brought to my attention, though, because as I said previously, it is my responsibility, my duty to oversee the living of the faith, especially for our ministerial witnesses. This isn't about looking back and trying to find things in people's past. That's not what this is about. Whether it's what someone did previously or a long time ago. This is about what comes to our attention and to address that.
Cathedral decided not to renew the contract of a teacher in a civil union. Rebuff is keeping their teacher, who's in a civil union, by dropping its association with the Archdiocese. The Archbishop says the educators violated employment contracts which required them to follow church doctrine. The Archdiocese is not concerned about threats from lawmakers about impacting the millions of dollars Catholic schools receive in tax-supported vouchers.
If they choose our Catholic schools, it's because we most align with what they want for their young people. And therefore, we utilize that money to ensure that they are getting the best education and formation possible.
Church leaders say the cases at Rebuff, Cathedral, and Roncalli could have been avoided, they say, if the educators rejected their civil unions.
I've got dear family members and dear friends of same-sex attraction. So it's as personal to me as it is to anyone. And they know I love them unconditionally. And they know I respect their dignity utmost. One's orientation is not sin. One's orientation is not sin. The issue, as I go back to the beginning, as I said at the very beginning, the issue is about the public witness with church teaching on the dignity of marriage as one man and one woman. That is our church teaching.
Tonight, the Archbishop expressed confidence that his recent decisions that he's made, he says, will be supported by the Vatican. Several dozen protesters surrounded the offices of the Indianapolis Archdiocese headquarters in an effort to show support for the longtime teacher that was fired from Cathedral High School after it was revealed that the teacher was in a same-sex marriage. Inside that prayer circle were school staffers, parents, former and current students, and area Catholics upset with the Archbishop for his stance against teachers in civil unions. One former Cathedral student said she was not surprised by the crowd which gathered in support of a teacher students call family.
We have great teachers there. This teacher was clearly one of them, and he had a bunch of people that he was very close to, a bunch of students. He was very good at what he did, just like all the teachers are. So I'm not at all surprised there's a bunch of people here to support them. It gave me goosebumps.
The prayer circle was organized by current Cathedral students who now say their next goal is to have a conversation with the Archbishop. We have comprehensive coverage of this developing debate here in Indianapolis. It is up right now on the RTV6 app as well as the IndyChannel.com. That includes everything Archbishop Thompson said today, along with all of our past stories, so that you can have perfect perspective on this ongoing issue. We now have an update and some breaking news happening right now in Boone County. We've just learned the suspect in a rent, kidnapping, and sexual assault has shot himself after a SWAT standoff that lasted several hours. Police had been looking for Paul Etter since last week, as you may recall, when a woman who had a flat tire in Tippecanoe County said that Etter abducted her and raped her before letting her go. Officers tracked Etter to Boone County today after Lebanon police recognized his description and the stolen car that he was driving in. We'll have much more on this coming up tonight on the news at 11. A disabled veteran calls RTV6 for help. He's been having trouble keeping up his home, and so neighbors have now called him on the health department, who's now responding to his issues. RTV6's Stephanie Wade gets involved today and gets him the help he needs.
It's this tall grass and aging infrastructure that's prompted the health department to be called on this disabled veteran. But he says it's hard to get out and do this work, being in and out of the hospital. That's when he called us to connect him with some resources.
I just don't have the resources. You know, I need help.
Back in December, Kevin Grieve was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. He says he's tried finding groups that might be able to help him with his home, but hit a dead end. So he called us.
I've seen where you've helped other individuals in situations kind of like in what I'm in.
I searched for veteran outreach groups and came across Helping Heroes of America. They're a local group that helps vets with yard work, home repairs, and even car payments and past due bills. I called the founder today, and she and her contractor, Sisson Floors and More, who does the work for free, came out immediately and have agreed to repair Grieve's home at no cost.
We're just a group of people that want to help and make a difference in the community.
I'm extremely grateful.
Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
Stephanie Wade getting results. This group has helped thousands of veterans over the past 4 years. They've done over $7 million worth of repairs and rely solely on fundraising and donations. If you or someone you might know might benefit from this help, we have more information on our website at theindychannel.com or email us at workingforyou@rtv6.com. Right now, Metro Police investigating 2 police chases that ended in deadly crashes. Both incidents happened within hours of each other. IMPD says a short chase on the east side had a deadly ending. The chase started at 21st and Sherman just after midnight. And that's where an officer spotted an erratic driver. The officer chased the driver to 21st and Dearborn, where the suspect crashed into a pole. The impact of that crash caused the power pole and the suspect's car to catch on fire. Live ammunition going off inside the car, it forced the officer to take cover. The suspect died at the scene. IMPD says 1 person is dead and 2 others are hurt after a chase on the west side ended in a crash. It began last evening when an officer tried to pull over a vehicle near North Bellevue Place and West Ohio Street. Police say the officer eventually turned off the lights and siren, but later found the vehicle flipped over on West Michigan Street and North Grand Avenue. Police say the car had been stolen. A Columbus woman fought City Hall and she won. A judge ruled in Kristen Brown's favor, saying the Columbus Police Department violated Indiana's public records law. Her battle started back in 2016 when she requested a police report about a crash involving law enforcement, but did not get much of the information back. Brown filed a lawsuit against the city of Columbus. On June 17th, a special judge ruled the police department did violate the Access to Public Records Act. Police now have to pay Brown's attorney's fees, which are approaching $50,000. Brown hopes it sends a message to government that they should be open and transparent.
The public access laws are only means to hold government accountable. Think of the tremendous power those elected officials have, especially law enforcement officials.
The special judge opted not to issue a $100 civil penalty against the police department, saying they did not act in bad faith. The Columbus City Attorney points out police did provide a copy of the police report during the course of the lawsuit. The city attorney also says Brown prolonged the case by personally suing the Columbus police chief, who was later dismissed from the suit. Columbus can still appeal that judge's ruling. In our continuing Democracy 2020 coverage, the second round of Democratic presidential hopefuls gets ready for their turn on that debate stage. Tonight's group includes 4 candidates currently polling in the top tier of the primary race. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez is in Miami.
Very excited.
Final walkthroughs here in Miami.
Good day for a debate.
Ahead of the second and likely more anticipated night of the Democratic debate.
Mr. Vice President, are you ready for tonight?
I think so. The party's early frontrunner, former Vice President Joe Biden, will be at center stage along with Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, who's polling in second place. Sanders, one of several presidential hopefuls, visiting a South Florida detention facility where undocumented children are being held.
You do not lock up thousands of children, including kids who are 8, 9, or 10 years of age.
Immigration was a major focus in last night's debate on NBC.
We're looking at just one small part of this. I'm talking about a comprehensive rewrite of our immigration laws.
Not true.
And if we do that, I don't think it's asking too much for people.
Healthcare also a distinguishing issue during round one.
Who here would abolish their private health insurance in favor of a government-run plan? Just a show of hands, start off with.
As the first 10 candidates tried to make their case to American voters. A challenge tonight for candidates facing off against their party's top two contenders, South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg and California Senator Kamala Harris, who also each have a strong showing in the polls, as well as lesser-known candidates.
Working hard the last 2 or 3 weeks to get ready for tonight.
All hoping to seize an opportunity to stand out in this crowded, competitive field.
And while there was no mention of Biden during last night's debate, of course, that is all about to change. He joked today that if his opponents go on the attack, he plans to hug them. Sanders is keeping his strategy quiet, but both have no doubt been studying each other's past debate performances to prepare for tonight. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Miami.
Still to come on the news at 7, downtown diners have one less option after tonight. What we've learned about the surprise closing of a popular downtown restaurant. Kevin?
It is dry now, and obviously, if you've been outside recently, it is warm, and it will stay warm tonight. The temperature will only fall into the lower 70s. We'll talk about how long this pattern lasts coming up.
Of homes every Sunday morning at 11:30. This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
Now at 7, downtown Indianapolis will have one less option for eating out. The Palomino at West Maryland and South Illinois streets shutting down after 23 years of business at Circle Center Mall area. Palomino is owned by Restaurants Unlimited of Seattle, Washington. A spokesperson says the restaurant will close at the end of business today. No reason was given for the closure. YouTube is making some changes after coming under fire for one of its features. This week, the social media site announced it's giving users more control over recommended videos. Those are the videos YouTube recommends to play immediately after the previous one ends. Critics claim the videos chosen by the site's algorithm are not always appropriate for children. Now YouTube says it has added a menu that lets users remove any suggested channels they want to watch from their list. A new lawsuit says that Google inappropriately accessed and handled hundreds of thousands of people's medical records. It says that Google was supposed to use anonymous medical data from the University of Chicago Medical Center to create a diagnostic tool. The lawsuit says Google never got rid of identifying information in that data and that it put people at risk. Both Google and the University of Chicago Medical Center, they deny the accusations. So, are you a morning person? Good question, because if you're a woman, that trait could put you at lower risk for breast cancer. That's according to a study published this week. Researchers found that women who prefer to get out of bed early in the morning had a lower risk of breast cancer than those who stayed up late. However, doctors say improving sleeping patterns could not necessarily reduce the risk of breast cancer. They say the study does not shed light on what process causes sleep traits to affect breast cancer risk. With high humidity and, of course, high heat expected, tomorrow the city of Indianapolis just issued the first no-zone action day of the year. And now you can help protect the air quality by simply riding a bike instead of driving a car. If you don't have one, don't worry. We'll make you happy with this information. The Pacers Bike Share program will give you free access tomorrow. Officials say the last 5 years, Pacers Bike Shares has improved our local air quality by taking over 10 million pounds of carbon from the air. That's equivalent of taking about 95 cars off the road for a year. Kevin Gregory?
It's a stagnant pattern. Light winds, lots of humidity and sunshine, and that will raise to unhealthy levels some of the air quality. All right, temperature 92. That was the high today in Muncie. Otherwise, right in the upper 80s. We hit 88 yesterday in Indianapolis. We're still searching. I don't know if you're searching, but for 90-degree temperatures, we haven't hit 90 yet. Oh, as you look to the west-northwest, hardly a cloud in the sky. It's kind of been hazy sunshine today. Let me show you where clouds have built into some thunderstorms over Ohio and then up toward Wisconsin and north of Chicago, these whiter, brighter areas. All of that is on the edge of this expanding dome of warm air. And it's on the fringe where we get some of these showers and thunderstorms to develop. And one spot has been east of Richmond and near Dayton. We had near Winchester an isolated shower earlier. They just flare up and then fade away. The overall chance for rain between now and all your weekend plans very low, 20% or less. The wind is light. It's possible we have a little light fog overnight tonight. I don't anticipate it becoming a big problem. Temperature and heat index, and you can see they're not too far apart. 85 is the actual temperature in Indianapolis. The heat index 4 degrees warmer, and Muncie's the warmest with low 90s for both the temperature and heat index. Over the next several days, it's all about that humidity mixing in with temperatures around 90, giving us a feel of about 95 during the afternoon hours. If you're headed to a pool, good move. Temperature tomorrow predicted at 89. The record 104. That was back in 2012. You remember the summer of 2012. We had 9 days where temperatures reached 100 degrees or more. Almost all the records during the month of June reach triple digits. Highs tomorrow pretty consistent north to south, all in the upper 80s. Could be a spot or two that hits 90. I don't think we'll see any rain to end the work week. And as we move into the weekend, the chance for thunderstorms just 20%. That's a big green light for your outdoor activities. The better chance of any showers or thunderstorms not until we get to Tuesday, Wednesday, and the 4th of July. But even then, it's a 40% chance for thunderstorms.
Hey, welcome summer. It's good to have you back. I mean, you're always here, but
I got you.
All right, Kevin, thank you so much. Helping you land the job. It's one reason we bring you Hiring Hoosiers on RTV6 every single day. Up next, our career coach highlighting just how key it is to network with everyone. I mean, everyone you meet. That story next.
Opening Stars and Stripes event at Ashley Home Store.
Every Thursday, our Hiring Hoosiers career coaches seek to empower you with your job search, which is key. It's one of the many ways that our Hiring Hoosiers initiative helps to connect you to that right job every single day. Today, our coach is looking at the benefits of networking everywhere you go. Yeah, listen, with everybody. I mean, everybody you meet.
Network. A network is get to know people. I personally believed a long time ago that it's not what you know, it's who you know. So get to know people. Everybody that's around you, friends, family, heck, even people sitting beside you on an airplane or a car at the bus stop. Get to know them. Ask them, what do they do? What are they into? What's their drive? Who do they work for? What business do they run? If they're a business owner, if they manage a business, get to know them, because that's where you open doors to find those capabilities. And you're right. Just because you walk up to the first person and say, hey, I'd love to do what you're doing, they may say, hey, sorry, I don't have an opening, or sorry, I'm the only one who does that right now. But try to find others. Hey, do you know somebody else who does that? Do you know of another company like that? Do you have anybody in your network who's looking for somebody like you that's on the ground floor? That's the idea, is to network and go after people, as many as possible.
We want to thank our guest career coach, Ben Reitzman with the Battery Innovation Center. You can find that story right now and all his tips at hiringhoosiers.com. We'll be right back.
Only at Zaxby's.
This is super exciting. Don't forget that ABC's Shark Tank is coming right here to Indianapolis. You can pitch your idea to the producers at an open casting call on Tuesday, July the 16th at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Doors open at 6 a.m. We'll have more information on the RTV6 app as well as the IndyChannel.com. In Hiring Hoosiers, hundreds of Hoosier veterans are now armed with contacts and resources that could help them find better jobs. Disabled American Veterans and Recruit Military held a job fair today at Lucas Oil Stadium. The free event offered an opportunity for more than 65 businesses to recruit veterans, National Guard members, reserve members, and their spouses.
I was in the Navy for almost 6 years, and as I transitioned out of the service, I really found it somewhat difficult to find an employer or an opportunity that really facilitated my needs. And what happened today is that I really found individuals and companies really reaching out to service members and providing them opportunity and showing that that their skill sets do transfer into the civilian sector, and it's been a really wonderful experience.
As always, a big thank you to all veterans who served. There was a stronger push this year to help military spouses find jobs. The latest job numbers show this group has a 25% unemployment rate, the highest rate of any singular group in the country. Kevin?
We are dry now. We'll stay that way this evening in almost all areas. Say hello to Jackson and Lola.
Hey, Jackson.
They are ready to go for a walk this evening. If you're headed that, it's about the humidity that makes it a little more uncomfortable, but temperatures in the 70s all night.
I have to buy some dog treats for those dogs. Thanks for making RTV6 your choice for news. We'll see you tonight at 11. Good night.